So I'm very happy to visit DBS today and to have a chance to learn more about the bank's plans to continue to grow their wealth management business. I'm also delighted to meet with some of the DBS employees who have been working in DBS for a number of years, relationship managers, and Dennis, Ashley. They share with me their experiences being with DBS for more than 20 years, helping different clients to grow their wealth and to be able to do well in their business. So this industry is something that plays well to Singapore's strengths as a trusted financial center. We want to maintain high standards, and at the same time, we also want to make it convenient and business-friendly for our clients. This is something which they are not mutually exclusive, these two goals. Maintaining high standards on one hand, and on the other hand, making sure that our processes are efficient and that we bring about greater convenience and value to our customers. So MAS has been working closely with our industry partners to see how we can strike a good balance between these two different objectives and to continue to improve our processes as we go along. Previously, the time taken for for family offices to apply for tax incentives could take as long as 12 months. MAS has worked with the industry to bring this duration down for most applications to within 3 months. Now, second, we are also working closely with the private banking industry group to see how we can further reduce the time taken for their clients to set up accounts, to open accounts. So as I mentioned earlier, we will still have to maintain high standards. We will still have to do the necessary checks. But what MAS will do, working with the industry, is to provide greater clarity in terms of what are some of the checks required, what are some of our expectations that we want the banks and the relationship managers to focus on, so that they are clearer and then we can avoid second guessing and taking longer than necessary to help clients to open accounts. A third area that I think we will want to work closely with the industry is we also see greater interest in the current, more uncertain global environment where people view Singapore as a stable, trusted hub that they can make long-term plans, that they are keen to bring not just their wealth management part of the business to Singapore, but also new investments, new business opportunities. So I think this is an area where MAS will work closely with our government agencies like EDB and other government agencies to help our high net worth clients who want to come in to invest in Singapore, who want to bring more of their wealth to Singapore, bring more of their investments to Singapore, to see how we can take a whole government approach. Some of them may want to set up business operations, some of them may want to invest in existing companies, some of them may want to start new companies, some of them may want to list on the SGX. So these are different possibilities that we want to explore with the high net worth individuals and families who are looking at Singapore as a trusted, stable place where they can make long-term plans. The key is we want to maintain high standards. We want to keep Singapore as a trusted financial center. At the same time, we want to make sure that we provide good service, convenience, and efficiency. And this is best done when we work closely with our industry partners and with our fellow government agencies. And I believe this is a strength that Singapore can offer to differentiate ourselves from other financial centers. There will be a need for us to be willing to take some risk. When we talk about risk, we take a risk proportionate approach and not a zero risk approach. Because if we are overly kiasu, I think we would not be able to capture new opportunities. So there is a need for us to strike that balance and go for high standards, but a risk-proportionate approach, not a zero-risk approach.
There is a perception among the global wealth industry that the MAS penalties on the banks and financial firms last week focused mostly on international firms, whereas there were at least 16 banks, including DBS and OCBC, involved in the 3 billion AML case. What would be your response to that?
So when we deal with regulatory cases, MAS will assess fairly and objectively the severity of the different offences and to what extent the actions are required and the quantum of the penalties. So it is not whether it is a local or international financial institution, but it is about what the nature and the extent and the severity of the lapses and the offences that have been committed.
Thank you.
In the interest of time, I think we can take the next two questions, the final two questions together. Maybe Gabriel first and then Angela.
Thank you, Minister, for being here. So you mentioned the MAS is working closely to strike that balance with industry and government partners to bring more wealth to Singapore while maintaining high standards. And as you've mentioned, the MAS last week officially doled out its penalties for the 2023 case. So because of a ramp up in the regulatory environment here, we've heard that there's been a recent trend of high net worth individuals moving their investments and family offices from here to newer hotspots like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Is this a trend that the MAS has observed too? And if so, is the MAS taking any actions to address it? Thank you.
The financial industry is a very global industry, and we're very used to competition between different financial centers, whether it's in wealth management or in other areas. So I think the key is this: there is enough growth in the wealth management area globally for there to be multiple wealth management centers around the world, each playing to our strengths. So in the case of Singapore, we have seen a very healthy growth in our wealth management industry over the last 5 years. The CAGR for the growth rate over the last 5 years is more than 8% every year. And to build on this, I've shared earlier that we want to work closely with the industry to see how we can go further, uphold high standards so that we remain a trusted financial center, and at the same time, make sure that our processes are efficient, the opening of accounts won't take too long, we continue to offer value to clients who want to come to Singapore, working closely with the industry, understanding what their needs are, and then bringing together different government agencies that can help to facilitate the families or the individuals who want to manage their wealth in Singapore, to invest in Singapore, or to list their companies on SGX.
Angela, would that answer your question as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I have one more question.
Okay, maybe just one final question.
Yeah. Hong Kong's proposition is a super connector to the mainland. In your view, what is Singapore's proposition?
Singapore is an international financial center, so we want and we welcome genuine investments and legitimate wealth from all over the world. Whether you're from China, you're from India, you're from Southeast Asia, you're from Europe, and even in new emerging markets like Africa, Latin America, Singapore remains open as a gateway to Asia. And we will be a place where we hope investors will see value in making long-term plans because we offer a stable, trusted environment.